Hey guys, Calvin here, part 2 of the Black Ops Retrospective today, the bad and the ugly. Let me say before I dive into this that I felt like I shortchanged the good just a little bit. And I apologize for saying I've still got this cold. But I shortchanged the good of Black Ops a little bit, and then I really needed to stress that this game works well for the most part. It's polished for the most part. It's frustrating, but it plays the way it should, and the bullshit factor is really, really, really low, and Treyarch needs to be commended for that. Black Ops is a good game. It may be the best all-around game in the series, and I want to be fair to them and point that out before I start just tearing it apart. This game is, I think, 72 and 10 or 11 or something like that on Nuketown. I played this actually about a week ago. It's one of the few recent gameplays I have because I don't play very much anymore. I love this game. I had a ton of fun playing it. Guys, I'm sorry. I didn't play the objective well. I was not paying attention to the score. I thought I had a little thing going where my teammates were going to cap flags, and I was going to slaughter people. It didn't really work out that way. So yeah, don't hold it against me. I am an objective player. You can see that if you look at my stats. Okay, Black Ops, the bad and the ugly. Let's talk about things that I don't like off the bat. Alright, the maps. They're horrible. Treyarch has never had a propensity for map design, and I don't think they did even a good job in Black Ops. The basic maps, or the base maps, excuse me, had a few standouts. Nuketown really is an excellent map. Radiation is a good map. Launch is a good map. Then you throw in things like Array, which is enormous and plays badly and is boring. And Grid, which may be one of the worst designed maps I've ever played. And Crisis, well, actually, no, I'm thinking about Cracked. I like Cracked. Cracked is a good map. Crisis is, if Array is not the worst map that ships with the game, then Crisis certainly is. It is just a freaking abortion of a map. Let's look at Nuketown as we talk about the maps and go with point number 2 of what they did wrong. The maps, the colors are so spellblindingly awful and boring that it puts you to sleep. I mean, every single thing in the room I'm walking in while you watch this video is a shade of brown. I mean, it's just horrific how bad it is. And, you know, I went back and played Modern Warfare 2 a couple days ago, played some matches, and I noticed how washed out Modern Warfare 2 seemed, and it really did. It really is. It's a very washed out game. I don't know why, but it is. But the graphics are relatively colorful compared to Black Ops, which seems to have 3 shades of brown, gray, and then a little bit of green thrown in there for good measure. So that, you know, that was a huge negative. And I don't know who worked on the map packs. I don't know if it was Sledgehammer. I don't know if it was Raven. God help me, those are some of the worst maps I've ever seen in any game, the map packs. Silo may be the single worst map of any game that I've ever played. So, yeah, I really didn't like them. I've deleted them off my hard drive at least 3 times, and they haven't been on there for 6 months. Well, that's not true, for about 3 months since the last one came out. I played it for about 2 weeks and deleted it. Okay, now let's talk about Ghost. Ghost is a perfectly viable perk. I have no problem with the perk in theory, but it should be split up like it is in Modern Warfare 3. The immunity to air support should be a separate perk. You shouldn't get it both in one, number 1, and number 2, there should be an actual viable counter to it, and there isn't because stopping power isn't in the game. Now, my complaint with that is the same in Modern Warfare 3 because stopping power isn't in that game, and Assassin does the same thing Ghost does for the most part. But in this game, the size of the maps and the lack of any reasonable alternative in Tier 1 to Ghost meant that everything in the game got slower. People started to use it and rely on it, and they didn't just use it and rely on it to stay hidden. They used it as a crutch and an excuse not to move. And it slowed the pace of this game down so much that I think it prevented it from being maybe the most popular game in the series. It still might be the best game in the series, just on a technical level, but it's not the most fun game in the series, and the Ghost stuff is a huge part of the reason why. It just slows the game down way too much. I also want to mention the equipment as well, you know, as another negative. And you say, oh, they did all these great things. The portable jammer is a really good tool to play Domination. Agreed completely. But a lot of the shit they put in here with the motion sensor, the fact that you can have a claymore and a grenade, really just encouraged people to camp. And a couple of the things just turned out to be complete duds. The remote camera that they pimped constantly in the pre-release videos, it's completely useless. It's completely useless. I haven't seen anybody use it since December. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I never even bought it. Not during One Prestige on either of my accounts. So, you know, those are some really obvious negatives. Another thing, Second Chance, it's terrible, it's broken, it's even more broken than it was in Modern Warfare 2. The block shot has become part of our gaming culture, become part of our gaming lexicon. As someone shoots you with a primary weapon for about a second, or about half a second as they drop into Second Chance, that's the block shot. And it's horrible. You know, early weapon balance was iffy. The FAMAS, you know, you see how overpowered it is here playing with it. It was really overpowered early on. The AK-74 was really overpowered early on. So it definitely took them some time to work that out. Let me move on to what may be, behind Ghost, my biggest single issue with the game. The kill streaks suck. You guys, you see me now rolling around with this chopper gunner. It's boring, it's slow, it's unresponsive, and one Ghost Pro user, excuse me, can shoot you down in about 10 seconds, maybe less, maybe 6 seconds. I don't know how long it takes to reload and lock on. That is broken. The Hind, which is the 11 kill streak alternative to this, is actually a really cool kill streak. I like the Hind. You can control the helicopter. The only problem is that it's been broken in Ground War and maybe regular Domination for at least 3 months, and either Treyarch doesn't know or doesn't know how to fix it. I don't think they know how to fix it personally. And that's literally the only two interesting offensive kill streaks besides the dogs, which I love and are a holdover from World at War, and they should be commended for it. They also are responsible for the SR-71, which may be the second coolest perk in the history of the game behind AC-130, so I give them props for that. Napalm is completely useless. UAVs and counter UAVs are either shot down immediately or nullified by Ghost. The mortar team is just as useless as the artillery strike was in World at War. The sentry gun is minimal use. The attack helicopter is an absolute piece of crap. The Grim Reaper and minigun that you get from the care package, the super rare drops that they pimped out a bunch, occur maybe 1 in 100 care package drops. So you see them, literally you see them once every 50 or 60 games, and they are cool, but why weren't they actual kill streaks? I mean, come on. I mean, it shouldn't take long to figure out that that's a good option, or at least an option that players would want. You know, I don't really know that I can point to anything in particular that's any uglier than what I mentioned, but those were my issues with the game, and they contributed a lot to why the game was slow, and why, as good of a game as I think Black Ops is, I don't necessarily really enjoy playing it anymore. So, we're going to move on to talking about Modern Warfare 3 pretty soon. Thanks, guys, and stay tuned.